Faves! Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are gonna have some fun. I know, there has been a lot going on in the world. Let's put off the news, let's turn off the parts of social media that are still the news, and let's just take a deep breath. Let's put away some time to have some fun today. Let's go through some monthly faves and fails. That's like an old school, like warm, cozy, fuzzy feeling type of video, right? I feel like that's kind of like the chicken noodle soup of the YouTube soul kind of way. You know, it's like just those throwbacks, those old school things that make us all just, makes us think of simpler times, right? Today, I'm going to be going through some of my faves and fails for the past month. First major fail, coronavirus. How you doing? We see you. Get the hell out. GTFO. But we already knew that. Today we are just gonna sit down, have some tea, have some wine, have a martini. You know what? Let's go tropical with it. Get a Mai Tai. Get some kind of like on the beach cocktail. Ooh, am I about to be demonetized? I don't know. Let's get tropical with it. Let's get a Cosmo. Let's get a Mai Tai. Let's get something that just makes us all feel really happy. And maybe for you, that's a hot cocoa because of Christmas. Maybe for you over there, that's going to be some champagne. Maybe for you, you're going to have shots. You do you. I'm not judging, but be careful. But let's go through some of these faves and fails today. And I always love to do shout outs every month because you guys are my favorite part of the month every month. So yes, there's going to be some shout outs in this video, but also in the description box below, I'm going to be just sharing some love because we're all bored and we all have time on our hands. Well, some of us do. I'm still working from home and doing YouTube videos, and my husband's here with me most days now. So hi babe, love you too. So what's down below is going to be some other YouTubers that I love. Some of them are beauty, some of them are not beauty. Some of them I'll get into later in this video, but sometimes you want to be able to watch some YouTube with your loved ones or by yourself and have a little me time. So that is going to be coming later in this video as well. So let's jump in. The first thing, I did not have footage of me using this today because I realized it was a fave after I had used it and I was like, dang it. Talk about it anyway, Nichole, so I'm going to. These are from First Aid Beauty, and these are something I got from a BoxyCharm of sorts. I can't remember which version at this point of BoxyCharm I got it with, because now there's so many layers that it's mixing all together for me in this mushy moment of the world. These facial radiant pads I had heard were like a cult following classic, and so many of you told me in my comments of the video that I talked about this with that you could like cut them in half because they're that like good. There's so much product in them that you could cut them in half and save some. That's a great tip if you have not tried that. I still really like these. I have been using these, I mean, at least weekly, maybe not daily, but definitely weekly. And I'm really enjoying these. I haven't actually like had a pad of sorts in my beauty space in, do wipes count? Because I've had wipes in my beauty space, I mean, in the past maybe year and a half or so, but I mean, I haven't had pads. Like I think of oxy pads and stuff like that from my teenage years with this, so thought this was kind of fun to be able to put in my beauty space and try. I'm really liking that. Let's start with the thing that I am always self-conscious about when I get on camera, and it's the thing I'm fiddling with right now, my brows. Something that I have started incorporating into my eyebrow game because eyebrows are not my favorite thing to do. I have been very transparent with you guys about that. That's just the thing I kind of got to get through in the morning. And even then, I still have to double back to them several times because I feel like you always need to do touch-ups, especially if you do them kind of towards the beginning of your makeup and then you've done other things and maybe something else has shifted, like a powder, and you're like, oh, let me get back in that one spot. Right now, okay, you all know the saying, right? Where eyebrows are sisters, not twins. I don't even think mine are really related at this point. I think one of them is adopted, which is a beautiful choice. It's totally acceptable, but they're not looking anything like their sister over here. And I feel like there's always that seasonal shift for hair in general, where as ladies, we tend to shed a bit more. That doesn't just include your hair, in case you didn't know. It also includes eyelashes and eyebrows, because, you know, we're still mammals. We're furry little creatures here. And this brow is like molting in a way this one is not. So I feel like the front that part of my brow has been my struggle for, well, my whole life. Well, specifically when the 90s happened and then we all over-tweezed and had a serious Pamela Anderson moment. Don't do that to your brows, new generations. Use this as your warning. So I have been really loving something that we've got, well, many somethings we've gotten from BoxyCharm. Something that I've recently been using is the Brow Bar by Rima. This is something I've told you guys in the past I have loved and used a lot, but I've also been incorporating, since I've been having some struggles with shape, a pencil, and I'm throwing it back to an old school BoxyCharm pencil that I have since repurchased because I've loved it so much, but it is still in the old packaging because I haven't bought it again in a while. This is my Winky Lux pencil, and this is before they changed the packaging, so this still looked very like Egyptian, like writing in gold, but then it wears down. This is like a universal brow shade in like a taupe shade. It has a triangular tip to it, and that's kind of how I've been starting my brows a lot, where I'll kind of like draw them out. You know, it's kind of like how I used to do my brows back in the day when I wasn't sure of shape. I feel like sometimes you've got to go back to the beginning to kind of rediscover ways to do your brows some days, because it is an art and a science, and I'm not always that great at it. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. Depends on the day, depends on the girls up here. So I have been using this to kind of like carve out the brow and then fill it in a bit and then go in with the darker pigments, since when I used to use this I had a lighter hair color, so I didn't have to do too much with it after this. Now I need to go in with a little bit deeper tones, kind of blend it out. You know the drill if you do your brows in the morning. It's a whole thing. This one in particular I feel like up front has been changing its shape compared to its sister, so we've been having a moment. So please forgive me if nothing's been perfect for a while. The world's in chaos and so are my brows. I'm even sitting here now like looking in the mirror over here on the front of my brows going, should I touch them up right this second? And after a while it's kind of like a winged liner when you just keep adding too much, and then it's a catastrophe, and then you're a what not to do in your own beauty video. It's a struggle. We've all been there. We've all felt the trauma. So this has just made my job a little bit easier with brows in the mornings. It's not foolproof because I'm not foolproof. I happen to be the fool some days, and you know, that's okay. We all have that day. But this is something that I have been reincorporating back into my beauty space because it's something that I still really love, and I'm so glad to have it as a backup when the brows no longer look related sometimes, you know? One thing I don't like about this is how the caps aren't universal. You can only put one cap on one side and one cap on the other. They are not, you know, universal. That's the only other part of this universal pencil that's kind of like, eh. All right, if I keep fiddling with my brows, they're gonna look really crazy. So let's just leave them alone. Let's stop looking at them and let's move on. Don't look at the brows anymore. I feel you looking at them. I feel you. Something else I like to use with that, because I'm getting some new subscribers that are finding my channel here. So hi, new friends. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out. Some people have been asking me about some of the brushes that I have been using in my beauty space. And yes, I do talk about them every now and again when I find it important. And something that I have been using a lot this month with some of these other items I'm going to talk about is my Luxie brush. I tend to be a creature of habit, and I do my face makeup first. Some people are really intelligent creatures and can go vice versa. You could either do eyes first if you're gonna go bold, or they could do makeup first. I am such a creature of habit that I'm just like, this is where my mind goes when I do my morning routine. And then I kind of like zone out because my makeup is therapy for me. So I just kind of like go through the motions, and then I realize I'm trying new eyeshadow palettes, or I'm dealing with an eyeshadow palette that has a lot of fallout, and then I rely on this baby. This is my Luxie 640 Pro Precision Tapered Brush. You'll see, I've talked about this even recently, but since I've got some new people asking questions, this is a longer bristled brush that's very fluffy at the top. You can see how much movement it has when I run my finger across it. It is great for flicking off any excess product that falls onto my face, whether that is sparkles, whether that is eyeshadow, whether that is brow shadow, because that happens too. I can just easily wipe everything away with this powder brush that is very loose, so it doesn't make it stick to the face. It doesn't look like I have blue, purple, red freckles on my face when I've flicked it away. Because sometimes if you use a brush that maybe has a little bit more compactness to it and it's not as flexible, it'll push it into your skin, whereas this flicks it away. I rely on this brush weekly, daily. I mean, you name it. It is right up front in my caddy over here with brushes. Really, really love this brush. And I really thought, I haven't mentioned it as far as a fave goes. It's a fave. It's a fave, and I think you should know about it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about may surprise you, but we are coming into spring, and as you can tell by my attire and my attitude, we are moving forward. We are talking about spring and summer because we're going to get hyped and we're going to get excited and we're going to do all kinds of fun things this summer. I believe it, you should believe it. And do you know what I have actually really been loving as I'm pulling myself into spring and the warmer weather? Some rosier cheeks. I don't know who I am either. Blush has never been my jam. I am a bronzy, highlighty, glowy goddess like that every spring and summer. But I am kind of vibing with a little bit more of a rosy cheek to go with said bronzers and highlighters. So there have been two blushes that I have been like loving. One of these is from a BoxyCharm over a year ago, and I can tell you it is still one of my favorites, and I know it is a fan favorite in my community. So many of you tell me how much you love this blush. And then I got a blush like 3 years ago, maybe 2.5, let's go with 2.5, from like a Marshall's TJ Maxx situation from a higher end brand. And I thought I would end up decluttering it after a while, but I still have it this much longer later, and I still use it with this other blush. So right now I am wearing two blushes. Yes, a non-blush girl wearing two blushes, and has been for most of this month. What? The first one is this Laura Geller Baked Blush. This is in the shade Tropic Hues. A lot of us got this from BoxyCharm before all of the crazy variables became a thing, like last year, maybe a year and a half ago. Those of you that have this and love it too, how long ago was this? I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. I love this blush because it has this ability to be like a blush, like a pinky tone that you add to your face, but it also has that luminosity that's not quite a highlighter, but if you don't want to do highlighter, this could be both of those for you. But it also just makes your skin look healthy. It kind of moves with your skin, not just sits on top of it, and it looks like your skin is healthy and glowing, and it gives you that tinge of rosiness that's not overwhelming. Beautiful. I love this blush, and this is like the blush that I was like, oh, you are changing my mind about blush. And that's, I feel like, when the transition started. So now what I do like about this blush is all of those amazing things, and that's why I wear it today. But I also just kind of want in the springtime an extra punch of color. Just a little punch, not a lot. And that's when I jump into this Lorac Luma Satin Blush. This blush, it helps that it's a satin because it has this sheen to it. But when you're looking at the color going, Nichole, that's like a baby pink on your face. That's gonna be like blush, dramatic blush. You don't like that. Wait for it. When you have it on your cheek right here, it just like rosies up that bit and it moves in with your skin because of the satin finish of it, that it just gives you this nice wash of pink that's not overwhelming, and it blends with the rest of your skin. And I don't think I have a pinkish undertone. I think I'm more neutral, but for me, it just kind of like blends with my skin tone, and it just adds that nice color just to the apples of my cheek. I don't take this color and pull it back like I do the Laura Geller blush, because that blush and most other blushes, I'll kind of start here and pull back lightly. This one, I keep it to the front, the apples of the face. And with the way my face shape works, that way it looks the best, because then you can just kind of like see that beautiful rosiness. It looks springy, and then it just kind of like transitions with the other blush. I like these two a lot in combination. And again, not a blush girl. So these were definitely worthy of telling you in this moment. Again, I got this a while back. I don't even know if this is still for sale. If I can find it, I'll let you know down below in the description box. But I like these two together. I do. And I would be surprised too, looking at how baby pink that looks. But on the skin, it like transforms itself. That sheen, really pretty. And then of course, with the Laura Geller blush, it just kind of all becomes a beautiful rosiness of just like a pretty pink cheek. If you're shocked, I'm shocked, because these are the two that I have been loving and using over and over and over. Springtime, I feel like I've done this before too. I feel like this isn't my first rodeo with these two together. I like them a lot. As many of you saw in one of my latest videos, I purchased the entire full beat collection from ColourPop, and And I did a review on every single sponge in here, every single one. So if you have missed that video, I'm going to be linking it above and below. But one of the things that I found in this is something you guys told me is like a dupe for the Juno sponge. I didn't even know about this, but it is the Velvet sponge and it is so good. All right, it was cleaner in the other video that I did about it. So if you want to see it pristine and clean, go look at that video. But I used it today and I like it. When I tried all of those, I tried one every day. So I was kind of giving you my first impression in that video. And those all still stand as my first impression. But as far as like in-depth information on this particular sponge, the Velvet sponge, this one is so good. This one has that texture that is that peach baby fuzz to it that you're like, ooh, how's this gonna feel? I have used this wet and dry now, and it works pretty well both ways. I do think I like it better wet, so it'll plump up a bit, but it dries out so quickly. It's nothing like some of the other sponges where they sop wet no matter how much you wring them out, including with a paper towel or anything else. This does a great job, and I don't feel like it absorbs too much of your product because I feel like even with the concealer I mentioned in that video, nothing really like sunk into the sponge that day. It was just all going back on my face. Everything blended down really well. Even this morning when I was just looking to blend, you know, that jaw to neck area, because we're in this weird quarantine phase where it's like definitely my foundation is a little different than my body. That was helping a lot to blend all of these pieces down and not move the makeup necessarily, so it looked like I drug makeup. It was really nice. I'm really loving this Velvet sponge from ColourPop, and I wanted to mention that here in this Faves. I still do also like the silicone sponge, and I'm still playing with all the others too, but give me some more time because I'm going off of some of your recommendations on how to use some of these softer sponges that we talked about as well. So stay tuned and I may bring these up again, but I still really like these and thought these were a great deal. But I do know right now, at least at the time I'm filming this, ColourPop isn't, I think, shipping at this moment. But if you're putting together your wish list, so that way when this is all over with, you have a whole new list of stuff you want to get. I love the Velvet sponge, really, really do. But I did hear it's like a dupe for the Juno sponge, which I haven't tried yet, but apparently this is what that dupe is. So I'm excited about that too. So I got lippies and eyes left to talk about. I feel like all of this is gonna keep so happy and peppy that I don't even think I want to talk about any fails. Let's just only talk about faves today because we all deserve some happiness right now. So this morning, and most mornings, I've really only been delving into 3 eyeshadow palettes ever since I got these 3 eyeshadow palettes. And you guys know I have a lot of, what do I have a lot of? Say it with me. Eyeshadow palettes. So these 3 eyeshadow palettes from BoxyCharm and BoxyLuxe and Boxy Premium are what I have been reaching for all month long ever since I got my boxes because I've been doing more looks with these. You guys may have seen me even posting a mini tutorial in a recent video, and I have uploaded part of that to Instagram as well because I am trying these a lot behind the scenes to give you more in-depth info. So I'm having some struggles with it because there's so many shades and only so many eyes and only so many days in between filmings. So you got to give me some time to play with these a little bit more, but I want to delve more into the Fenty one. All right, why is this so hard to open? Every time I go to open this palette, it's so hard. Someone get an adult, but they can't come over because it's quarantine. I have used this for some of the gold looks that I have used recently. I've also jumped into a lot of these more neutral tones down here to marry with other eye looks that I've been using with this palette and this palette. But I still really want to jump into some of these more blue tone, gray tone shades. I've mostly been delving into the gold tones and the like champagne tones up here and all of these warm neutrals. I've been delving into like, I feel like this half, although I have jumped into that white a few times. I want to get into some more of this half the rest of this month and into next month. I want to play with this some more, but I can tell you, I think this is a buildable eyeshadow palette. This Moroccan Spice palette from Fenty, which did come in the premium box, is nice. I feel like I haven't touched into the pinks too much, but now that I'm kind of doing this pinky rosy thing for spring, I'm probably going to jump into those next. But I do want to jump into the blues more. I think this is a buildable product. I can tell you that the buildable shades as far as the mattes go kind of take their time to build. That's something I have noticed with this, and that is where Nichole gets a little impatient in the mornings. It just kind of depends on how much time I have to do an eye look. So I'm still playing with this. I think it has a little bit of fallout, but it's still really good shadows, and I'm having fun playing with it. And that's the thing. If I'm still having fun, that's all that matters some days. And then the Tartist Pro Remix. I've been using a ton of these, but mostly I always start all my eye looks with these two neutral shades because they're kind of the most neutral and the most blank canvas for whatever I want to go into next, because some days, I don't know, but I want to start with something neutral, just kind of get a powder down. As far as the Tarteist palette goes, the other colors that I've really been delving into are this Inspiration shade, which I use a lot on the lid. It is beautiful. I also love Mic Drop, this rust color, or Spin over here. These are great shimmery neutrals. I have delved a little bit into this purple already. This green I've jumped into, Artist, Art Deco. There's a lot of shades actually, now that I think about it, I have jumped into. And I went into Outside the Lines on the gold when I did a gold look for you in a recent video with the Fenty Beauty palette. I have so many swatches on my fingers, I'm making a mess. I've only having had this month. These are all I've been playing with, and I'm still having so much fun with these. Yeah, again, with these shimmers, they're really pigmented, and I love the formula on these, but they do have some fallout. And that is why I also wanted to mention, if you got some of these palettes, this is the brush, the Luxie brush I mentioned earlier, that I have been using a ton to wipe away any of the shimmer fallout or some of the chunky glitter fallout, but that's in a different palette. But these are so pretty. I mean, look at the blend. Look at the spread. It's so pretty. Oh, I'm just having so much fun playing with all these shadows. And of course, I have to still talk about the Hello Charmer palette because I feel like this is the one I've been really investigating because it's BoxyCharm's brand. I want to know more. Today, I was going to jump into this Charmer shade because you all commented how much you love my nails right now, and thank you so much. I wish I could tell you a color. I got these done before this whole thing started with the pandemic at my nail salon, and these are gel. So I don't even know what color it is, but if you want me to tell you the gel color the next time I can finally go, I will make sure to try to do that for you. But these are gel, and I got them done at a salon. But this is what was inspiring me to go with this teal color today in the shade Charmer on my lid. First, I built it out with the Tarteist Pro Remix palette for the base. Then I jumped into the Fenty Beauty palette just to kind of like start that crease with one of those more neutral shades. And that's where I was like, oh man, this is taking a while to build it up, because it does. And then I went into the Charmer shade here, and this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I kind of thought it was going to be like Swipe Up, which has this jelly consistency to it, and it's kind of like a topper. So before I put on Charmer, I went into Boxy, which was just like a whitewash, just to have something down for it to stick to in my mind. That's what I was prepping for, at least. And then Charmer, it looked really pigmented, so I started to tap off some of it and then apply it to my eye. But once I tapped it off, I was like, I'm not seeing much transfer from my finger to my lid. So I went back into it, and even though my finger looked like it had chunky bits on it, I still put it on my eye directly, because this is the best way if you're wanting a full wash of color, is to use your pressing finger over a brush. You could still use a brush or a wet brush, but this is how I prefer to use it for my eye shape and really getting into those crevices in the lid. But I noticed it had more glitter chunks to it than I was expecting. I don't know if it'll show up here or not on a swatch versus on a lid, because on a lid you kind of have to do more of a pressing, packing motion, but there's a lot more glitter to it than I thought, so I had a lot more glitter fallout. Then with the fallout, I needed the brush back and forth. And then I was just kind of not loving how I thought this would wear down. Based off my experience with how many shadows I've tried in my life, which is not a small number. It's not as much as some, but not as few as others. I was like, I don't think this is gonna wear well through the day, so I'm gonna mix it up. So after I did a good pressing down on both lids, I jumped over here into Pop Up, which is another beautiful champagne creamy shade that reminds me of one of the shades from Tarte in my Tarteist palette. I went in with this one though, because I wanted to play with this palette more. And I pressed that on my lids, and I feel like that did a pretty good job of kind of like lightening things up and giving it a little bit more structure, because I was worried glitter was gonna be falling on my face all day, or blue was going to be falling on my face all day. So next time I might try these up here with the glitter glue. Like I said, I thought they were going to be like this, which is a different consistency entirely. This is more jelly. This is more sparkle, glittery, powdery. I wasn't expecting expecting that. It was the first time I had jumped into it. So I'm still playing with this. The boxy white shade wasn't as bold as I thought it would be, but it wasn't bad. I still want more time to play with this, but I had to go back into my crease and kind of build out my crease with the more neutral tones again. And then I noticed the blue kept disappearing, and then I had to keep going back and forth with the pop-up and the charmer, and I still wanted you to see the charmer blue green shade, so I kept adding it to that outer side. It's not my favorite eye look, but I'm still kind of playing and being a scientist, discovering new eye looks with all these palettes. So this was still fun to play with, but I am starting to see some drawbacks that some of you had previously mentioned in comments who had maybe tried different shades than me from the first time. I'm still really loving playing with all three of these, but I am starting to pick apart a bit more in depth what's working better versus what isn't. Like, I still really like a lot of the shades in here, and some of them are crazy pow pigmented, but some do have some fallout, and some of you let me know that there's like some good shades, it's some not good shades. It's a little inconsistent. I still really like the Tarteist Pro palette, and these are really great. I can say though, I wish that there was a little bit more matte shades to kind of delve with. I feel like I need another palette with this, and I know in the future sometimes that's hard for me. So we'll see how this plays, but I'm still loving playing with these, and look at all these fun colors for summer. So excited. Fenty, I am discovering that it does take some time to build up. Oh man, getting these suckers open. It should not be this hard. Work on your packaging, Rihanna. Some of these I'm also finding to be a little bit more like toppers, and some of these I'm finding to be more pigmented. So I'm still playing with these two, but I'm really enjoying it. Ooh, this one feels really creamy. So much fun to be had. Ooh, look at that. So much fun. I'm having a lot of fun playing with these, and I'm still kind of figuring out each different formula, each different technique, but I'm enjoying the party. Lippies. I'm going to talk really quickly about lippies. Glosses are starting to really take over some of my lip caddy over here. And I say that a little shocked because I've never been a glossy girl, really. Like, I think I liked gloss, I mentioned, like in high school and college maybe, but I don't like how my hair would always stick to it, and I've always had long hair. Hence it's up today because humidity in Florida is becoming a thing again. My hair's up, it's a little frizzy today, but it's also naturally curly, so it gets to be hot and heavy. So today it had to go up. But it's because I knew I had on 2 lip glosses, and I'm loving them. And I'm usually a matte girl, so this is, I'm entering springtime and summertime uncharted territory. Let's see how much I get lip gloss all over my face, or I don't. One of these is really high end, and one of these I got from a BoxyCharm that I think I actually put this in my backup drawer, and I totally didn't even know what it was until I discovered it, going, oh, this is a Lartsy lippy. Let's try it on. And the only other Lartsy lippy that I had was a matte, and this is definitely not a matte. But before I go into these lip glosses, I need to tell you what I had on my lips first. And I had on 2 pencil lip liners. Both of them from BoxyCharm. One of them is from Vintage, and a lot of you guys told me that I should hang on to this one. So I used this one to kind of like go on my lips on the outside, lining the lips to give yourself that nice pout. And then I went in with the Steve Laurent lippy that I think I really need to sharpen soon, and filled it in just a little bit because this is a little bit more my lip color, really, to kind of give myself a little bit of that pigment that I was looking for. And then I jumped right into the Lartsy lippy. Now these are the 2 liners that I have been using the most. The Laurent one, the Steve Laurent one, I have been using for months and months, and I'm not a wooden pencil girl. And I think I may have mentioned that at year end, that this one really did kind of surprise me. And I did like Jessica Lebiskind. I do still have one of her duo highlighters from an old BoxyCharm. I'm talking like OG times with BoxyCharm before they had any big names in the box. This is what they were giving out a lot of, Jessica Lebiskind with the Vintage line. And I did like that line, so I was like, well, the lip liner can't be bad. And some of you said that you actually liked it. I like a nude lip, and that's why this Lartsy lippy, I was like, I put this in the bottom drawer? Why? I must have assumed it was like a backup for another Lartsy lippy that I did get. This one is in the shade Vibe, and it is a very nude shade. It is a beautiful nude, but it is also glossy, and I wasn't expecting that when I first got it, because the only products I had really gotten from Lartsy were a matte liquid lip. It's this beautiful nude lippy. It's got this nice shine to it that does a beautiful job. But then because I have been loving this other gloss so much, I had to use it gloss on top of gloss. I have the Too Much gene. I have never been accused of being demure. This is where the Fenty Beauty Diamond Milk Lippy comes in. I'm even gonna put more on now. It's just like, it's like, if you zoom in on this part right here, editing Nichole, you're gonna see it's got some glitter to it. It's got some shimmer to it. It's so pretty though. And then as you like fan it out, press your lips together, kind of like let it look a little bit more natural, because I have too much gloss on at the moment. I don't even like gloss. Now I have 2 glosses on. What? Quarantine makes us all a little crazy. It's okay. They look like this like cartoon juicy lip that is just like kissable. They look so nice, and I've just been loving both of these glosses. This is the first time I've actually worn them together though, and I don't even think I really meant to. I think it just organically happened this morning, going, oh, I still love this and I want to use this with any lippy I have. Not thinking, you already have a gloss on, Nichole. Too Much gene. I have it. I think it was even looking a little bit better when it was fresher and before I've now layered on top of what I already had going, because, you know, this is a lot. But it's a lot of fun, and I have been liking these 2 a lot. Whew! Guys, I think that is everything for my March faves. We're not even going to talk about fails because you know what, we need some positivity. There's enough fails going on out there on the news. We don't need any of that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and tell me, what are some things you're loving? Think of some positive things. What are you loving? What are some things that are your faves at the moment? Now I'm going to tell you some of my other faves. You guys. Sarah, I may say your last name wrong and I'm so sorry if I do, but Sarah Qua, she has a YouTube channel and an Instagram, and she has been a long time subscriber of mine and so sweet. I'm going to be linking her channel below. Go check her out. Hi girl. Hope you're doing well. Be safe. Jessica561, girl, I see you all the time in my comments giving me your thoughts and your feedback, and you are so sweet. So thank you so much. And how you doing? Be safe. Love you. Elm31178. I see you all the time, like every single video, I feel like. And you are just always commenting your thoughts, your vibes, your feelings on the makeup or whatever the topic is. Thank you so much for always being there to support and being positive. I love how positive all of you are. I just think that is so amazing, because even in these tough times, we can pull each other up and just be each other's strength. And sometimes we need that. That's okay. Now for some YouTube channels to check out. I am going to be linking some fun people below. Again, some of them are makeup channels that maybe you already are subscribed to, or maybe you're going to find a new favorite beauty channel that you love now. I'm going to be linking below. I can tell you for sure I'm going to put Jen Loves Reviews. She is really in depth. Like, she has so much info. I feel like I talk about my feelings and how makeup makes me like feel about my day. She gets down to the nitty-gritty and can tell you what's good for you, what's not good for you, gets into makeup minutes, and gets very quick news. She's like the news for makeup on YouTube, and I value her so much. I love her. I think she's great. Go check her out. And there's gonna be some other beauty faves down there. Like, you guys know I love Andrea Mattiliano if you haven't checked her out. Jessica Braun. There's a couple other people that if you haven't maybe discovered them yet, I'm gonna link them below because everybody's looking for something to watch right now. But for some fun things too, if you're looking for some like family fun or something that you, your husband, you, your wife could sit down and watch, I would say Good Mythical Morning and Good Mythical More with Rhett and Link are so much fun. These are some guys that have known each other their whole lives that started a YouTube channel back in the day, and it started to become its own show, and they do fun things. Like right now they're doing like March Madness with ice cream, and they break things, they eat things, they try things. It's so just fun. I'm going to be linking them below. I highly suggest you check them out if you're just looking for something fun to watch with the kids or with your partner, whatever you want to do. And some news channels that I watch that are more YouTube friendly. I love Philip DeFranco. I think he is amazing, and I think he breaks things down a bit. I also love some other minimalists that I love following. I don't really know what to call them because they're van lifers and we are tiny housers, so it's a little bit different, but I really love Eamon and Beck. They are van lifers that travel the world in their van. They have a really cool style of how they vlog. I think that's a lot of fun. So since we all can't travel at the moment, they're a fun one to watch. I think they're in Morocco right now. And another travel channel that I love, and they're not tiny housers, they are just full-time travelers. It's a husband and wife team. It's Kara and Nate. Nate. They have a lot of subscribers here on YouTube as well. You may already know about them, but they're also one that when you can't travel, I've been binge watching all of their old videos because I'm like, they went to all of these amazing places. They've been to all 7 continents. They have been over 100 countries, and they just wrapped up their 100 country like video diary, and now they're starting a whole new journey while they're traveling. And since most of us are stuck at home right now, how cool is it to be able to see other places for free here on YouTube and support another great YouTube couple? I love them so much. Again, Kara, Nate. I'm gonna link them all below. I feel like I'm just running on and talking now because, well, we're all friends and we're all going through it together. So I'm just trying to help you guys be entertained, find some fun stuff, some informational, some just enjoyable, euphoric. Let's have a good time. I try to keep everything uplifting and happy, and for the most part, a lot of these people do too. Unless you're looking at the news channels, those are a little bit more but you know, it's good to be informed. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your Sunday with me. And every month when I go through these fun, good feeling videos, sometimes you just need a little virtual hug, and that's what I am here for. And I hope you guys are having a great day. Comment below. How are you doing? How are things going? Tell me your faves. Maybe share some YouTube channels below with your friends down below. Let's keep it all positive, because the reality is we need more positivity today. We just do. I love you guys, and if you happen to be new here, hi new friends, I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all of the loud, weird, crazy, unique videos I do every single week, even during a quarantine. True story. Bye friends.